The African wild dog is considered to be Africa's most efficient and successful hunter. With a population of only around 6,500 individuals, or 660 packs, it is also Southern Africa's most rare large carnivore. However, organizations like the African Wildlife Conservation Fund, AWCF, are on a mission to guarantee the survival of this inspiring species. Through their efforts, these dogs, once verging on the brink of local extinction, are making a comeback.
It's an incredible experience, something I'll never forget.
Wow, this is so special.
So we've arrived at the day.
Coming up in the series, heart-stopping moments,
I can't wait, let's go, let's go.
thrilling adrenaline-packed scenes, exhilarating chases, and undocumented wild dog behavior captured on film from a completely new perspective. Located in Zimbabwe, the Save Valley Conservancy is one of the few remaining vast wildernesses left in Africa. It is a key stronghold for a significant population of wild dogs. Spanning over 1 million acres, this privately owned reserve boasts a huge variety of habitats and vegetation, and provides a perfect breeding ground for Africa's largest and smallest species to thrive. The wild dog conservation efforts in the Save Valley Conservancy began in 1996 as the Lowveld Wild Dog Project, monitoring just 36 wild dogs. This work eventually led to the formation of the AWCF, and their presence to date has enhanced the protection of the species, and the population has increased to over 130 dogs, making it one of the highest densities in the world.
So I'm just doing some measurements now.
Their work has expanded to include the conservation of other large predators throughout the region due to this success. Dr. Rosemary Groom and Jess Watermeyer head up operations in the Save Valley, with a crew of dedicated scouts specializing in the art of tracking. Together, they form the team responsible for the protection and survival of wild dogs in the Save Valley. The Save Valley Conservancy currently holds 14 resident packs of wild dogs. Throughout this series, we will get to know 3 of these packs. Splinter's Pack formed April of 2010. There are more than 20 dogs in this pack, making them a force to be reckoned with. Mapura Pack formed February of 2011. This pack is regarded by some to be the most attractive pack of dogs living within the Conservancy. And last, but by no means least, the Pungwi Pack. They are the most newly formed pack of the 3 and are currently preparing for the emergence of their very first litter of pups. It's late winter, and conservation biologist Dr. Rosemary Groom is on her way to visit the last pack of dogs to den this season. Deep in the Mopani woods, we find the pack relaxing on a bed of fallen leaves that surround the den. Meet the Pungwi pack.
Okay, so this is the den of the Pungwi pack. It's a pack of dogs that only formed in April this year, so April 2015. The scouts named the pack. So the Pungwi pack is made up of 6 males and 3 females. It's 6 males that we know from another pack called Batanai pack. And they left their natal group in October last year, actually, and started wandering around as a group of 5 males. They went back to their natal pack in January, February, picked up the other male that was left with the pack, and then as a group of 6 males dispersed from their pack and met up with a group of 3 females, which we know from Splinter's pack. Those 3 females are only 2 years old, so now they formed a pack, and this is their first denning season as the new pack with 2 really young first-time mums. It's going to be quite a thing for them. It's quite exciting to see what's going to happen. Okay, so for the 6 males, they're different ages. We've got a male called Ten, who was born in 2012, so he's 3 years old. And then 3 males, Angel, Mask, Benguela, who's our collared dog, who are all 2 years old, and then Pod, who's just 1, so he was only born last year. And then we've got another one, the 6th male is a dog called Nuisance. We don't know how old he is. He joined the Batanai pack, where those males came from, randomly in 2013. We have no idea where he came from. And we called him Nuisance because he gave us a lot of trouble. He just kept appearing. We didn't know who he was, where he'd come from. We couldn't work out why there was an extra dog in the pack all the time. And he's very plain, he doesn't have clear marking, so he caused us a lot of stress and then was basically a nuisance. So shame, poor guy, the name stuck. So those are the 6 males. We think 10 is the alpha male from his behaviour, and he's also the oldest, so that would make sense. Then the 3 females are, like I said, from Splinter's group. They're about 2 years old. They're all 2 years old. From their behaviour at the moment, we suspect Loop is probably the alpha female. Both Loop and Jigsaw became pregnant, or looked like they were pregnant. They do have pseudo-pregnancies, and both are lactating. But from the behaviour, we think Loop is probably the dominant female and Jigsaw the subdominant. And then the other female, Bones, is just a subordinate female.
While Rosemary studies the Pungwi pack in the east, researcher Jess Watermeyer is on the lookout for another pack of dogs in the far west.
Right, so this morning we're out here on the western boundary fence of the Conservancy. We're coming to follow up on one of our, well, what we refer to as sort of our pack. They've been around for about 4 or 5 years, and at the start of this year there were 12 adults, but they've had a bit of a disrupted year because their long-standing alpha male and alpha female pair broke up. The alpha male was, unfortunately, we found him dead, unknown cause of death, as we only found his collar, and we didn't think that they would actually den this year because it was only Ursula, the alpha female, left with her offspring, so there was no unrelated male and female pair. But then very interestingly, we started noticing a dog that definitely wasn't part of the pack. And when we checked all of our pack records, it turned out to be a 2-year-old male, Otis, which is from our Mambira pack down in the south of the Conservancy. So we can only assume that Otis and Ursula have decided to pair up, which is fantastic news for the pack. And unfortunately, you know, it's towards the end of the denning season, they've, for some reason or other, decided to come and move outside of the Conservancy and den. So we're just going to go and have a look at the den outside and just check if they're all right. And we may or may not see them. We just at least see that they're there and that they're all right, and that there hasn't been any disturbances at the den.
arrived at the den. We're not getting collar signal anymore, and we didn't hear any dogs barking or growling at us, and we can't see any. So we think that the adults have all gone off to hunt. These pups are big enough to be left by themselves, so it's actually kind of ideal because it means we can quickly change cameras, and while the dogs aren't here, so we're disturbing them a lot less, and then we can maybe pull back, get to a bit of a vantage point, and see if we can stand by and see if they come back from hunt, and if we can get a better visual of them. We've seen fresh tracks around, but when we look at the den cameras, the dogs were only seen last about 2 days ago. But as I said, they are at the end of their denning season, so what a lot of packs tend to do is they will use a den hole for a couple of days, move to another one that's nearby. So they could be doing that at the moment. So Mishik's just gone off to get to a high point and test if he can find signal. And if they are somewhere close by, then we might just go and have a look. And if we think if we think it's a good idea to put another camera up somewhere else, then we'll do that, just so we get a good chance of catching them if they're moving between two dens. Right, so we've confirmed that the pack has in fact moved dens about 100 meters west, and they do seem a little bit skittish. When Mishak went in to find them and walk in on the signal, they sort of darted off a bit. So I'm just standing by here, and Mishak's just gone off to put the cameras up, just because he's been coming to the den a lot, so the dogs will probably be more used to him. And basically what we'll do is we'll put the cameras up and check in 5 or 6 days, and hopefully we'll get some really nice pictures of the puppies before they leave the den. And sure, just looking at this view behind me, it's no surprise they chose to come and den where they are. It's just fantastic.
As the day winds down, cameraman Neil Fairley heads out to follow a large pack of dogs as they prepare for an evening hunt.
Okay, here we are. We're on our way to see Splinter's pack. They're the biggest pack in the Conservancy at the moment, about 25 dogs. So fingers crossed, this could be a very good opportunity for us to get our first full hunt and takedown on film. We've been at it for about 3 weeks now, and so far no luck. We've been charged by Ellies, we've cut faces, battered, bruised, sweat, tears, blood, everything, and no luck. We didn't anticipate it to be this hard. It's definitely not like how you see in a lot of the other documentaries with dogs chasing over long distances and open plains. It's thick, it's tight, it's close, compact. There's thorns, there's gullies and rocks and hills. There's elephants, there's lion, there's buffalo, there's rhino. The odds are kind of stacked against us at the moment, and we're feeling a little despondent. But nevertheless, we'll carry on, we'll persevere. New pack of dogs, uplifted spirits. We're going to give it our best shot, and I hope today's the lucky day.
Neil arrives just as the pack is becoming active and beginning their pre-hunt routine. Tensions run high as the dogs move off through the wooded thickets in search of prey. The camera team follows in anticipation. And the chase is on. And just like that, in a few short minutes, it's all over.
Okay, a hell of a lot of excitement today. We've been following with Splinter's pack, and they've made a kill, but sadly for us, we've got nothing on camera. We missed it probably by a matter of seconds, I should think. We may have got a little bit of the feeding, so we'll have a look at the footage when we get back, but no successful takedown. But we're encouraged. The dogs have made a successful kill. We're closer than we've ever been before. We're definitely more wounded than we've ever been before, so hopefully the dogs find a slightly easier area to hunt in, less thorn trees and bushes, and we'll just keep trying. Yeah.
Back at the Pungwi Den, Rosemary eagerly awaits as the newest members of the Conservancy make their first appearance.
So this is really exciting because it's the first time we've come to the Pungwi Den when we know the pups have emerged. They've been seen out on the camera traps. One of our scouts has seen them. But if we're lucky, this is the first day we'll get to see them. And in fact, the mum's just got down the den, so if we're really lucky, she might call them out. So let's just watch what she does. Oh, there you go, there you go. Did you see that little head of a little tiny pup? Sweet man, that's the first time I've seen these pups. They emerged a couple of days ago, but this is the first time we've actually seen them. Just two little ears. Oh, look, 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 look. There's two are out. Oh my gosh, look at them. Brave little guys. Oh, a little bit nervous. Okay, off they go, mum's calling. Oh, look more. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Goodness, okay. 15. Looks like there's 15 pups, which is amazing. Wow, phenomenal. All being fed in a very excited heat by the pup. Wow, this is so special. Okay, so really exciting. All 15 pups look healthy. There's no obvious runts or any obvious problems there, although of course it's early days. What's going to be really interesting is whether which of the females is going to be the dominant one in terms of the feeding and what's happening, because we're not sure whether this is a single litter. Most likely it's actually 2 litters. Most likely both Loop and Jigsaw have had puppies, and what we're seeing in the 15 is a combined litter, is both of theirs. The reason for saying that is because they're both first-time mums, and they don't normally have such a big litter as a first-time mum. Plus the fact that both are lactating suggests that it's quite likely. It doesn't mean for sure, because females can come into lactation to help an alpha female. But I think in this case it may well be that there's a combination of puppies from both Jigsaw and Loop in this litter. So it looks like the pups are about 3.5 weeks old. They normally emerge, you normally first see them when they're about 2.5, 3 weeks old. So these guys emerged a few days ago, so I think they're about 3.5 weeks old, all in really good condition. Still drinking exclusively milk at this point, so suckling only. And then anywhere from about 5 weeks old, they start eating a little bit of meat as well, and then between 5 and 12 weeks they'll become completely weaned off the milk and be eating the meat. And of course any pack member can bring back meat for them, so in a couple of weeks we'll start seeing them eating meat, but for the moment they're just suckling. And it's lucky that there's 2 lactating females, because 15 pups is an awful lot to try and feed.
As the pups get older, they leave the den and accompany the pack as they move and hunt throughout the Conservancy. At about 12 weeks old, they are now out and about, and Neil links up with Pungwi to discuss his filming strategy.
Okay, so this afternoon Kane and I are with the Pungwi pack, our feature pack in this series, and we're going to try and join them on another evening hunt. So the way we're going to do this is we've chosen to use motorbikes to follow the dogs. Kane here does all of his research from his motorbike, and as you can see from how close we are to the dogs, they're completely used to the motorbikes. They don't upset the dogs at all, and a lot of the wildlife in the area is also quite used to the sound of motorbikes being around. So our hope is that we won't interfere in the hunt, we won't interfere with the dogs or the prey, and they can just carry on as they will. Another reason for using the bike is that it's very nimble, it's agile, it's very streamlined, very much like the dogs. So when we're trying to follow the dogs through, tight gaps in trees and go through riverbeds and up little hills and down into valleys, the motorbikes can more or less go anywhere the dogs can. So that's another reason why we've chosen to use bikes over any other method. So Kane's been a scout in the Conservancy for quite some time, and he's very familiar with the dogs and the area. So Kane thinks we can do it. He says it's not going to be easy. So far it hasn't been easy. But anyway, we're going to keep trying, and we're going to see what we can do. Now it's just over to the dogs to get hunting and make a kill.
The dogs get into hunting formation and begin their search for prey. In pursuit, the camera team move into position to capture the action from the ground and the air. It's not long before the pack picks up the scent of potential prey, and the hunt shifts up a gear.
Okay, we've finally done it. We've managed to get the first hunt on film. Here it is. We've got the first kill, all on camera. Phenomenal chase. It kind of came out of nowhere. The dogs were chasing wildebeest to begin with, which we haven't seen them hunt before, which was exciting. But they kind of turned their attention very quickly to a lone adult impala who was running by himself, and with the pack as big as it is. Here, it just didn't stand a chance. They chased it down, a couple of attempts made at it, but eventually they took it down on the other side of this tree here, and we finally got it. I'm ecstatic. I know Kane is over the moon. It's been some long hours for us, and we can just only hope that this is the first of many to come. Okay, we've also noticed some very interesting things by having witnessed a hunt from beginning to end. By the look of things, it kind of seems to be a bit like mayhem when the dogs are hunting. There doesn't seem to be too much structure, particularly once they've identified a target. It's just everybody goes for it, and whoever gets there first gets there first. But what we did notice that was interesting, that we haven't heard a lot of in textbooks and in other documentaries, is we've witnessed dogs actually taking the impala and going for the throat, going for the what they call the stranglehold, which is synonymous with other large carnivores, with the big cats especially, lions, leopards, cheetahs. They suffocate their prey by going for the throat. And we've seen that here with the dogs, which is incredible. I didn't actually know that they did that until today. So that was very interesting. The kill was pretty quick. It looks like everybody's had a feed. The adults go first, then the puppies move in, the adults move out, and it's all for the puppies at that stage. The adults actually get chased away from the carcass, if you can believe it, once the puppies are on top of it, which is a new thing that I didn't realize either. So they definitely give preference to the puppies, which is great to see the next generation, you know, putting all their effort into raising up the next generation of wild dog pups. So we're happy. It's an incredible experience, something I'll never forget.
As the camera team revel in their success, on another part of the Conservancy, tensions run high as the AWCF team respond to some troubling news.
So this one is the strongest color, the one with no egg.
Yeah, I know, it's a good one.
The Save Valley Anti-Poaching Unit has reported a wild dog carrying a wire snare around its neck. Rosemary and Jess are urgently called out to dart and remove the snare from the dog before the situation worsens.
You know, they've got the dog, so we're just keeping quiet and just waiting to see if they'll start showing first signs.
The dart in and the dog down. The team move in and take action. With the snare safely removed and no injury caused, the team take this opportunity to put a tracking collar on the dog.
So one of the main reasons for collaring these dogs, obviously so we can locate them, but also with these collars, they give information about where the packs are, so they take the GPS position. So if we find that the pack comes back with a whole lot of snares, you know, a couple of dogs missing, maybe a couple with injuries from snares or wires around their neck, we can use the information from these collars to go and either give these guys a heads up or go ourselves and have a look at the area, because it's very obvious when a pack member is caught in a snare, they stay there, they stick around. So we can use this collar information to help locate snare lines and poaching issues, and also to keep a track on packs that go out of protected areas and they're therefore very vulnerable. As soon as we know they're outside from the collar, then we can follow up on them and give a heads up to the communities and try and get some awareness going. So yeah, another important thing to do when you've got a dog down is take good photos of the left and right hand sides, because each dog is uniquely identifiable by their coat markings. And obviously it's better if you've got them in the bush, but you can't always get them, so we take the opportunity just to, I suppose, identify them through their coat markings when they're down.
The pack won't go too far, they'll stay nearby, and then this dog will hopefully wake up and go and start looking for them, and if they're a bit further off they'll start calling, and then they'll just reunite. The rest of the pack will come back and look for him. You know, often when we've done collarings, the pack will sometimes circle nearby, so they'll never go far off, and they'll come back and collect him. Yeah, the only concern with them not meeting up with their pack is if they if you end up darting very late and the rest of the pack go off hunting. And we had an incident once with a snare removal, which was a desperate situation. It was a horrible snare with the wire tight around the neck but also through the jaw, so its head was pinned, like it was it couldn't do anything at all. It was horrific, and we ended up darting that dog quite late, and she was without her pack for 3 days. But then eventually they met up. So the pack will never abandon a member. They'll keep coming back. They'll always try and find them. So we had a very nervous 3 days, but in the end the dogs were reunited. And it actually made my week. But it did. Yeah. Okay, how are we doing for temperature? Can we do it again?
Although wild dogs are not the intended victims, they are particularly susceptible to being accidentally caught in snares left by poachers who are trying to catch and harvest meat from other wild animals.
1.7, 2.75 for the top.
The team collects important genetic samples before giving it the immobilization reversal drug. Although slightly woozy from the anaesthetic, the dog quickly finds its feet and disappears off into the woods to rejoin the awaiting pack nearby. The next morning, Neil meets up with the Pungwi pack and the pups are rather intrigued by the aerial drone.
So, to cover the hunt from all angles, we are not only using the motorbike and the helmet-mounted cameras, but we've also got an aerial drone to try and capture it from a bird's eye view and capture the way that the dogs are moving through the bush and any sort of social structure and any sort of communication methods they use and how they actually go about a hunt. So we've got our drone set up here in a nice open area, great for taking off. Only problem is that these pups, who are now 4 months old, are incredibly curious about more or less everything and anything that's new. And as you can see, they find the drone very, very, very interesting. And they just can't wait to get their teeth stuck into it. When puppies want to investigate something and they want to see what something new is and learn more about it, the way that they do that is they pick it up in their mouths and they chew on it and they bite it and they carry it around, as you can see they do with sticks and old dry buffalo poos and that sort of thing. They're constantly picking things up in their mouths, chewing them, tasting them, seeing what they are. And I fear if they got hold of the drone, it would probably come back to us in a number of different pieces. Something unfortunately our budget doesn't cater for. It seems like the pups have lost interest a bit. They all seem to be playing with different sticks and branches and all sorts of other things. So I'm going to try leaving the drone for a second and hope that they don't go for it. Let's test. You'll have to find your own toys, I'm afraid. No, 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 no. I don't think they're particularly scared of me, they're just cautious. So it's encouraging to see that the puppies show absolutely no fear of us or the motorbikes. They're definitely curious of us and apprehensive, but they're definitely not scared of us. You know, they won't come right up and lick me on the leg or bite me on the leg, but they are very happy to come near us. And the same goes when we join them on the hunt. You'll see from the footage they accept me into the pack as part of the hunting team, and the puppies will very often run along behind me like I was one of the more superior adults in the pack. So it's great that these puppies are so used to us now that we don't interfere or have any impact on their natural lives. They just get on with it. So for me, that just confirms that using motorbikes is definitely the best way to follow these dogs on the hunt. They're used to the researchers monitoring them on motorbikes, and they're used to us going along and filming them on the motorbikes. So it bodes well for the series, and hopefully we'll be able to actually capture some of the more important and hidden wonders and dynamics of the hunt. Right, puppies, I think mums and dads are calling. Time to go hunting now. Off you go.
As evening approaches and the sun starts to set, the dogs become more active and the team captures the beauty of the moment in the golden hour. Neil and Kane join the pack as they begin their evening hunt. The dogs are in no rush to make a kill, and instead find a nearby waterhole to cool off in. No hunt for the team, but some beautiful moments captured. Rosemary, on the other hand, has luckily managed to find the Splinters pack, also relaxing at a dam.
Okay, so we've just come, this is Bopwa Dam, and we've just come to look at Splinters pack, who are here. They're quite often here, they like this area, and when they're in this area they often come down to the water, especially this time of year when it's so hot. So it's quite late in the evening at the moment, which is great timing, so I'm just going to go pull over, watch them for a while and see if they get up to anything interesting. Oh, here we go. We've got some activity from these three over here, including old Hopalong. You can see the one there with just the 3 legs. So here's Hopalong off to the water. We call him Hopalong for obvious reasons, but it's actually a really sad story. He, a couple of years ago, probably even 3 years ago, it was 2012 sometime, the pack must have run through a snare line, and we lost one individual who was found dead later in the snare. We had another one with a horrific injury around his neck and a very tight wire snare, which we managed to dart and remove, and he made a full recovery, which was amazing because it was a very, very deep wound. And then at the same time, this dog came back, and we've surmised that he actually ended up chewing his leg off to get out of the snare. He would have been caught around the ankle. And the injury at the time suggested that's what he'd done. But he's made a full recovery as well, and for the last 3 years been a fully functioning member of the pack. It's quite amazing. So the fact that he's still going strong is very much a testament to this very close social structure that the wild dogs have, because they simply won't leave a pack member behind. And if at the beginning when he was struggling, you know, they'll wait for him, they'll regurgitate for him. If he doesn't make the kill in time, they'll often wait for him to eat at the kills. So it's a fantastic, it's just a visual demonstration of their very close family nature and very sort of social pack bonded structure. Oh, okay, there's a water buck over there. Check, I wonder if they're going to see it. Yep. See what happens. Oh yeah, they're all looking. Very alert. It's really, that is beautiful. Look at that, eland and an impala. Sure, that's spectacular. What lovely light. Dog's still not showing a great deal of interest. They're very lazy. Eland's a bit nervous, he sensed them. But he's also not really prey, so should be alright. Impala, on the other hand, could be doing with being a bit more cautious, but perhaps he senses the dogs aren't really ready for hunting. Impala's walking straight in front of those dogs, who are barely lifting their heads. A couple of them watching him, but no action whatsoever. It's fantastic. You can really see the size difference there with this eland, not even a particularly big eland, and then the dogs, which suddenly look remarkably small. Oh, now there's some action. But they're not interested in the eland, they're going fast. Actually, what have they got? Oh, the warthog. Oh, fantastic. The rest of the pack have, hey look, they've cornered the warthog against the rocks. This is interesting. Warthogs are a bit of a formidable prey though for wild dogs. They're not usually very successful when they try this, but let's see, it's a nice big pack. Warthog's tusks are incredible defense, they're really powerful, so if he's protecting his backside, which he can do very effectively against the rocks, the pack probably won't stand a chance. Oh, and they charge us. They can be quite aggressive, warthogs. They can do serious damage with those tusks if they get close enough, so the dogs are being very wary, quite rightly. Yeah, the dogs are moving off. I think they know when they're beaten. And well, they've left the warthog in peace for a bit, but interesting to see how he's going to escape, because as soon as he turns to run away, he'll then be vulnerable from behind. And off they go, full speed ahead. Sure. Look at that. What have they found? Lots of playfulness going on there. These must be the youngsters. Yeah, they are the youngsters. Sure, they've suddenly got a lot of energy. And lots of fun. Yeah, it looks like they've gone. They just disappeared off, probably to hunt, hopefully something more suitable than that warthog. So anyway, what an amazing afternoon, and now sun's setting, the dogs have gone, and I'm going to head home, but hopefully we'll catch up with the pack in the next day or two.
Rosemary alerts the camera team that Splinter's pack are on the move and heading east. The following day, Kane locates the pack as they prepare for another hunt. Neil races across to catch up with the pack before they make a kill.
Okay. So we received a report this afternoon of some wild dogs in this area, a large pack of wild dogs who we suspect to be Splinters. We've come along this afternoon firstly to find out who the pack is, and secondly to see if we can actually join them on another hunt. It's coming just after 5 p.m, so hopefully they'll be becoming active, or certainly about to start moving off for a hunt. And this area's got a lot of game in it. We've got wildebeest, impala, zebra, all sorts, everything. And with a large pack of dogs like that, it's highly likely that they'll be looking for larger prey now. They normally just hunt impala, but now that they've got so many mouths to feed, over 30 dogs in that pack, we suspect that they're going to be looking for bigger prey now, possibly wildebeest, maybe on the off chance zebra. So we're going to give it a shot and see if we can find them and get a nice hunt.
He arrives just in time with dogs already on the prowl and eager for a meal.
Okay, pretty incredible chase this afternoon. We managed to catch up with Splinters. They're already on the move, already hunting pretty early for their usual standard. And just out of nowhere, we came into a herd of probably 30 or 40 wildebeest, and they just hit it hard. They were just running in and out of this acacia. There was dust everywhere. I didn't know where I was going. Eventually it looked as though at one point the pack had surrounded the wildebeest, and they'd sort of got together in a tight ball, making themselves much more impenetrable and protecting all the little ones on the inside. However, it seemed that during the confusion, the dogs managed to separate a bull, a female, and a young wildebeest, and they drove them round and round, and eventually the wildebeest ran into the water, which we often see with prey. They will run into water. I'm not quite sure why, perhaps to put off the predators, or they sort of see it as their only means of escape, as a sort of last resort. But unfortunately, going into the water just gives the dogs a chance to get their bearings, surround the waterhole, and they just go straight in at them. So eventually, when the wildebeest ran out, the adult bull went one way and the female and her baby went another, and they headed into this thicket here, and unfortunately the female got away, but the youngster wasn't as lucky, unfortunately for him. But it's great to see that the dogs are now actively hunting bigger prey, but it's still great to see that they've changed their dynamic. They're adapting to the environment, they're adapting to the situation that they've presented themselves in, and they're doing very well at it. Incredible to see. I'm very lucky to have actually witnessed this firsthand. I mean, the whole thing, from the time that they actually grabbed it, I mean, it's only been maybe 10 minutes and it's finished, it's over. They are very quick and very efficient killers when it comes down to it.
Success for Splinter's pack and the camera team. Coming up in the next episode, Pungwe are in striking distance. Will they succeed? The community gets involved in conservation. Jess is in the right place at the right time to witness something astonishing. Rosemary gets hands-on with Africa's largest predator. The camera crew gets stuck into a muddy rescue. And Pungwe pursue yet another successful takedown.